Yay, we're live! We are live. Okay, Instagram is telling our followers that I started a live video. Okay. We are here. We are live. Episode 3 of Organize and Socialize. And I'm so happy you're here. Hi, Zlati. Nice to have you. Before I get started, if anyone has any questions, if you have questions about any questions about pantry organizing, send them my way. And I will be happy to answer them. We'll wait like maybe one more minute. Episode 3. Let's get some wine. Otherwise, you're just watching me. Here, at least, you know, it's me drinking. I think I need some more. Do you have wine with you? Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. Maybe some people are a little extra busy tonight. I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to speak and share with you all I have to offer on pantry organizing. And it's going to be saved. God willing, it's going to work. And I'm going to save it for 24 hours. And I'm also hoping to save it on YouTube. It worked last week. So if you missed my live from last week and you still want to watch it, just search The Organized Fairy on YouTube and it's going to come up. That was linen closet organizing. Okay. So glad to have you guys. I'm just about to get started. Hey, Khani, thanks for joining. Hey, Yosef. So, pantry organizing. Isn't it frustrating when you're about to make dinner, you're getting ingredients from your pantry, and you're looking for something, you're like, I'm sure I have it here somewhere, and you just can't find it. And it's so frustrating because you need to make your dinner now. You can't just run out to the store. And you can't find what you're looking for. So instead, you opt to make something else that maybe you have the ingredients for. So that's really annoying, and we don't want that to happen. And that might be a reason why you might want to organize your pantry. And you know what's even more frustrating than that? Is that like maybe the next day you find that item that you were looking for in the back of your pantry, and you already bought that item from the store, so now you have more, and it was like a waste of money, and it's just not fun, not cool. So I'm here to give you tips and tricks on how to get organized so that it'll be easy. That's really what organizing is all about. What I'm going to challenge you with tonight is actually to organize right now. Go right now. Go to your pantry and follow the steps that I'm going to share with you, because I'm going to make it really easy. I'm going to share with you what I do when I go to a client's house and how I would organize their pantry. Okay? You ready? Are you drinking with me or organizing with me? Okay. So step number 1. You are going to empty your entire pantry. Everything, every single item that's in there. All the cans and the jars and the pasta and the cereal and the snacks. Pull every single thing out and put it on your counter or table or wherever you have room for it. Just put it out. And as you are pulling it out of your pantry, I want you to sort it in 2 categories. So all the cans are going to go here, and all the jars are going to go there. And the pasta and the rice and the snacks and the crackers and the baking items. You might want to divide up the baking items into, general baking and then more decorating items. So you're dividing, you're sorting out all your categories, okay? The next thing you're going to want to do after you sort everything is take a deep breath, because it's going to feel really overwhelming at that point. And you're going to be like, why did I listen to Malka? Why did I decide to do this on my own? This is crazy. But that's just normal. That's what it feels like when you have the entire contents of your pantry on your table and counter. But just go with it, okay? Trust me, the end result is totally, totally worth it, okay? Now, you have everything out on your counter and table, and it's sorted into different categories. The next step that you're going to do is you are going to look at all the expiration dates and make sure that nothing is expired. And if something is expired, it's food, guys. You don't want to eat expired food. Throw it out. It's not even like something to think about. We're not talking about sparking joy over here. It's food. Throw it out. You don't want expired food. Okay? And after we throw out all the expired food, you want to make sure that before you put things back in your pantry, everything is going to be food that you want. So sometimes, we impulse buy. It happens. I do it. You do it. We all do it. Okay? So like if you find something that you're like, yeah, I bought that on a whim, and really we haven't opened it in the last 6 months. It's just been sitting there. Or sometimes it's longer than that. It could be a year or 2 years. I've seen expiration dates like more recently from like 2010, 2013, and it's just, it happens. So whether it's something that's expired or something that you just don't want anymore, those are going to be things that you are not going to put back in your pantry, okay? So before we put things back, though, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a Clorox wipe. We're going to wipe down the shelf. We want to start off on a fresh new leaf, We're turning it over. We are going to be organized now. So we're wiping it down, we're cleaning it, and it's going to be nice and sparkling and new. Now, I really believe that a huge investment in organizing a pantry is getting proper bins. And I'll tell you why. Proper bins are going to contain each category in its own space. And that's how things don't get, mixed up with each other. So you have your pastas all together, okay? Pasta is probably not a good example because, well, at least for me, we buy pastas in the boxes, so we just line them up. Like, it's easy to line those up, and it's organized, and it's nice. And they just don't get mixed up. Now, maybe like beans and rice might be a good category, and you want to keep those together. So when you're looking for your beans and rice, you go to the bin that has the beans and rice, and it's all right there. And when you're running low on it, you just write it down. So there's no like, oh, do I have it? Do I not? You're always stocked. You always have what you need because you see it. It's so clear. It's right there. Now, before we okay, sorry, I'm just getting let me just take a look, see where I am over here. Okay, something else we're going to do is we're going to take things out of bulky packaging, out of boxes, and actually when we put just the items itself into a bin, it's so much neater and it takes up a lot less space. The bulky packaging really uses up a lot of necessary space. So this is what we're going to do. Now, some baking items, some pantry items, many people like to decant. OXO is very, very popular. You can get OXO. They're great. Many times there's a good sale. I would totally go for that when there's a sale. But there's also Click Clacks, which is a great comparable item to OXO, and it's just really, really pretty. So what would I put in, what would I decant? Maybe flour and sugar is a given, especially if you bake often, and it just keeps it really fresh. What else can you decant? Maybe if you have lots of nuts or seeds or cereals, things like that. Things that you might use, the bag clips for, that, they don't really work all the time, 100% of the time. So this is just a good way. Like when you need it, you have it, and your food is just yum and fresh when you're looking for it. So that's decanting. Decanting cereals. I love decanting cereals. I love the Rubbermaid. They have like their plastic with a red lid. They're not the most gorgeous, but they're just like a great size, and it keeps the cereal really, really fresh. And you can get those on Amazon. So just search Rubbermaid cereal bins, and you'll find those there. What else do we have? Okay, so we're going to put things back in a really uniformed way back in the pantry, right? So let's say cans and jars. You might want, for cans, you might want like a shelf riser. Those are great. I personally don't use one. Actually, at the end of this live, I'm going to be showing you my pantry and how I make that work. But that's great for organizing cans. There's jars, just put them in a really like neat way. What I like to do is make like straight lines. So let's say I'll have my tomato sauce in one line, front to back. Instead of putting tomato sauce in the back and tuna in the front, I'm not going to see my tomato sauce if it's all the way back there. So we'll do like tomato sauce, tuna, whatever other cans I have, and then, line up the jars as well. And also, you can turn the label facing out towards you, so you always see what you have. It also it's just pleasing to the eye when we do it that way. What else? So, like I was saying before, investing in bins in your pantry is really the best way to maintain it, because everything pretty much just like it stays as it is. The bins stay where they are, and all you're doing is you're refilling it with the food items that you need. And actually, I have a client who just messaged me tonight. She messaged me a picture of a snack drawer that I had set up for her. And she's like, oh, I'm trying really hard to like upkeep, the hard work that you did in my house. It was perfect. It was exactly how I set it up. And I'll share that with you guys a little later. But bins it makes the space look really nice, and it's the way to go. Maintenance, it looks good, and that's really what you want. You want it to be easy, and you want it to be easy. That's what we're here for, right? We want life to just be a little easier. So organizing does that for you, Now, how do you know which bins to buy? That could be a tough one, right? It could be so overwhelming. We all have different homes. We all have different space. We have different amounts of items. So it's not like you could look at someone else's pantry and be like, okay, I'm going to use that item for me. But you might see an item that you're like, oh, okay, that one will work well for me. That one, not so much, which is totally cool. So how can we know which bins or products to buy? So you need to measure the space you have, but not only measuring the space you have, but you need to see how much of that item is going in the bin. So for example, we have our beans and our rice that we're going to be putting in a bin, right? Let's say that's something that you don't want to decant, right? You just want to keep it in its bag in its own category. So you're going to see how much you have. Maybe you have like a couple of packages of beans, a couple of bags of rice, or one bag of rice and a couple of packages of beans. So what you're going to do is you're going to see how much you have, what size bin I need, and also measure the space so that you know how much room you have for that bin. Okay? Sarah, what kind of bins? What goes in the bin? So we're talking about pantry organizing. So I mentioned that a really great way to maintain pantry organizing is by purchasing bins to put each category of foods inside. So let's say one category for beans and rice, maybe another bin for nuts, Another category could be for baking items. Another one could be for snacks, or maybe you need a few bins for different kinds of snacks, maybe individual snacks. Or if you buy the same of the same snack items, like maybe just one bin for each snack item. It really depends on what happens in your house and your lifestyle. Does that answer your question? Let me know. Okay, so we measured our shelf so we know how much will fit. Okay, great, Sarah. Thank you. Now, my favorite bins for pantries, I'll tell you, I'm going to tell you what they are. And the reason why is because it really gives it like a clean, clear look. I actually don't have these products in my pantry. Like, you're not going to see them in my pantry. And there's a few reasons why I don't. I'm in a rental right now, and I really don't want to invest in expensive things that are not going to be long-term. But God willing, when I own a house, that is something I plan on doing. But I do have bins because it's necessary, and there are always budget-friendly options out there. And I'll share those with you as well. So there's Interdesign, which is the acrylic line. Amazon sells something called M-Design as well. Those are really great acrylic pantry bins. I love white as well. It really depends on the pantry that I'm working on. That's the truth. Excuse me. And I like the IKEA. IKEA sells, I forgot the name of it, but they sell these white bins with like a little dip in the front. And I love that for the white ones. What was the other one? Oh, the Y-Weave from Target. They're really not expensive. And it also gives it like a really nice uniform look. Sorry, I got this little something stuck. I don't know if that's going to work to clear my throat, like wine, really. I should have brought some water here too. Okay, now for budget-friendly options, okay, Big Lots. For those of you who live in Arizona, I don't know if they have Big Lots in other states, but they have Big Lots here, and they have a pretty large organizing sections. They have these handle baskets that I love. It's so easy to pull out, and I have those. I'll show you them soon when I go show you my own pantry. The Y-Weave, like I said before, from Target, those are really great prices. And you could always go to the dollar store. They have options there as well that are great. I would just get like one color so at least it looks all uniformed. Excuse me for 1 second. I'm going to get some water because I'm not breathing very well right now. Any questions? Any questions before I continue? By the way, this is my mama cup. 32 ounces. I try to drink 2 of them a day. I'm on my second round, and I'm halfway there, so that's good. Okay, let's continue. So we went through the steps of organizing the pantry, but we're not done yet. We went through pulling everything out. I just want to repeat this for the last couple of people that joined. We pulled everything out of the pantry. We categorized it. We sorted through them. We threw out any expired food items or items that we bought on a whim that we really don't want to keep. And we also bought bins and we put them back in the pantry in a nice and organized fashion. I don't know what step number it is, but last step is to label. Labeling is so, so important. If you're not the only one living in your home, then, I think that even if I was the only one living, like if I was living by myself, I would do it anyway, just because it makes me happy to see labels. It's so pretty. But because most of us are living with maybe a husband, maybe kids, we want to try really hard. We want to label them because labeling will make it so that everybody else in your home will also know where things belong. And we might think like, oh, we're putting it back, we know where it goes. But it just makes it so much easier for everyone else in your household. It'll upkeep the space really, really well. Okay? So, I have a couple of questions that people asked me that I want to address before we started this live. So something I was asked was how to store disposable plates or cutlery in a functional way. So the answer is that first you need to find the right spot for them. Those are things that I would probably keep directly in the kitchen. And I say that because not everyone's pantry is right in their kitchen, right? So you might not want to run back to your pantry every time that you need something, right? You need a plastic plate or a bowl or cutlery. So I would say it's good to find a spot in your kitchen that's centrally located. Even if you don't have a pantry, excuse me. Even if your home doesn't come with a pantry, it's okay to find another spot that, makes sense for you in your kitchen. So try to get creative and find that spot for you. You can put cutlery in a drawer divider, in a drawer in your kitchen. You could put it even on a shelf in a cabinet. It's really not a problem. I don't know why I'm not breathing very well tonight. Sorry, guys. Okay. By the way, Sarah, I'm so happy you're here because you're actually setting up your home now. So you could totally really apply these steps right away. You can also display your cutlery. Try that, put it out in a cute display on your table or counter so it's easy for everybody to get what they need, especially if that's something that is used often in your home. And as soon as we're done here, I'm going to show you around and show you how I do things in my home, how I have it set up. Now, okay, this is a pretty big question I got, and I will tell you what it is. What if you have no pantry and only drawers or cabinets? Okay, guys, just so you know, there are so many homes that don't have pantries. Now, what I mean by that is I think people have this thought that a pantry means a walk-in pantry. Now, walk-in pantries are beautiful and great. Don't get me wrong. Sarah, I'm so happy you're doing your pantry right now. That's what I want. I want people to be organizing right now as we speak. Okay, back to the pantry, back to the no pantry situation. Find any cabinet, just whatever makes sense for your kitchen. Put a little thought into it. Which cabinet would make more sense to put the pantry in? And that's where the pantry is going to be. And you put your bins in and they're labeled and that becomes your pantry. And there, you have a pantry. It's great. So there's many different ways of also maximizing the space. You can get shelf risers that you can, so if you have a lot of space in between shelves, it just uses the space really well. You could put bins on top and underneath it. So you're really using every inch of space. What else? Okay, what about backstock, right? We go to Costco, we go to stores and we buy a ton of things. So rule number 1 is make sure you have space for backstock because so many of us don't, and then you're just left with an overload of stuff. So that's actually something that I have to work on is not to buy too much, and I got to get my husband on board with that too. Just because it's on sale doesn't mean we have to buy all the pasta. Help. Yeah. But we'll get there. Don't worry. I made it work. You'll see my pasta situation in a second. It's pretty interesting. Anyway, so if you do have space for backstock, then put a limited amount of stuff in your pantry. And maybe your backstock space is in a garage, or maybe it's in a laundry room, or maybe you have another cabinet right next door that you could use as your backstock. Whatever it is, everyone's home lifestyle is so different. So do what works for you. But definitely keep your pantry to only the items that you're using right now, the items that you use all the time. And if it's stuff you don't use, you don't want to keep there. Some people actually also want to keep bigger, bulkier electronics in a pantry. If you have that kind of space, totally. It's food related. It's okay. I permit it. Okay? Now, before I show you around, something that I try to do at the end of my live is to give you a habit forming activity. Okay? Now, this is what I mean. In organizing, people say like, "Oh, I'm not organized. I wasn't born that way. How can I become?" And I say like, yes, maybe it comes more naturally to some people, but you could totally learn it. You could totally learn how to be more organized. And the way to do that is by creating habits. So I'm going to do a quick backtrack. The first week we spoke about the entryway. And the habit forming activity for the entryway was to, on a daily basis, before you go to sleep, clear it up and make sure it's a nice, pleasant place to walk, area to walk when you walk into your home or when you're leaving your home. Last week we spoke about the linen closet, and the habit forming activity was to, when you fold your linen or anything that's linen and towels, putting things back, fold them the proper way. Fold them in a nice, neat way. Take the time to learn how to fold it. Actually, last week's live was saved. It's on YouTube. Look for the Organized Fairy, and you will see my live on how to fold linen. It's pretty detailed. And the habit forming activity for the pantry is, when you go shopping, is to put things back properly in its proper space. It's going to make you happy, it's going to make me happy, and we're all going to be happy. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a couple of things around my home. And the reason why I want to do that is because my house doesn't come with an official pantry. And I want to show you how you can make it work. Now, for me, I got a little creative, and I did different things in different spaces because I'm really limited on space, and I have a family, thank God, and we're a lot of people here, so it just, sometimes you need to get a little creative. Okay, I'm going to flip it around, and I'm going to show you first my cutlery on my table, okay? So this is just something I think is pretty. I don't know, maybe you wouldn't agree, but it's just a tray that I never used. I didn't really like it as a tray for food, but I really like it here. I have my cutlery in mason jars, I have napkins, and a salt and pepper shaker. And yeah, that's that. And now I am going to show you in my pantry. So this is in my kitchen, and over here, I specifically, I keep very specific items here that I need more often in my kitchen. So like spices. If you see, it's a very, very narrow cabinet, and it's very deep. So I put things in the back that I really don't use often, but I do use. And then I put things just in a little bin just to contain it, things don't fall over, and I have the rest of my spices there. Over here on this shelf, I have like gloves, baking paper. If you see, I have this shelf riser. It's just here on the side, and it keeps the baking paper up higher. This is just something, again, that worked for me. I have Ziploc bags, so small, medium, and large, just lined up and easy to get. And down here I have like oils and vinegars and, the other oils in the back that I don't use as often. And that's down there. Okay. 1 second. Oh, wait. No, I don't need to switch it around yet. Up here I have snacks. Okay, so here it is. Again, very narrow, very, very deep. So I keep just these applesauces here on the side. They stack nicely. I have this shelf divider here. These shelf dividers came from Walmart, if I'm not mistaken. They're a little old, but I'm pretty sure I got them from Walmart. These are the handle baskets I was telling you about. They're really, really affordable. I don't know, maybe it costed me like $1.10 or something for each one. They're from Big Lots. Really, really cheap. Pretty good, pretty sturdy. They sell like similar ones at the Container Store, but if you want a cheaper option, that's where you can get a cheaper. I'm sure there's like other versions of Big Lots. Big Lots is like a You know, one of those stores like Marshall's type of thing that just sells a bunch of random stuff, but like it'll be a lot cheaper. Okay, these are just like, you know, snacks, more snacks. In the back, there's another one in the back. Up here is just different, you know, different bins for different things. Another shelf riser, and then all the way back there is another bin with, I keep individual snacks in, but it actually slides right across over these two black bins. And that is my snacks. I'm gonna flip me around while I take you to the next pantry situation. Okay. This is in my hallway. So again, I had to get a little creative because it's not in my kitchen, but this is the space that I'm guessing is supposed to be a pantry, but this is just what made sense for me when I moved in. So, as you can see, this is also like a very, I'm gonna try to get you like a good view. It's a very like deep, wide space. So it's a good space, but it's also a little challenging how to set it up. So again, I used these handle baskets. I have nuts and seeds, I have rice and beans, I have pie crust and quinoa in here. See over here, it's not like pie crust and quinoa necessarily go together, but I wanted them in a bin, and so it's labeled, and now everybody knows where it is. It's great. Now, because it's so deep, here, that one is pretty full. Because it's so deep, I actually store things in the back because I have so much space. So I have like some boxes of rice back there and some brown rice cups, and like I keep it in the back. I know it's there, and you know, it's good. Here I have cans. They're just lined up from the front to the back. I have jars, some mustard and oil. Like, it's because it's so large, it's pretty easy to see, and this is just what works for me right now at this point in my life. And like I said, we are pasta lovers. My husband's from Italy, so you know, it's just how it is. And up here I have some like backstock items. Well, they're not actually, I have some spices that are backstock, and then just like, you know, extra things up there that don't have a great space for, and extra serving pieces. That's what I keep in here. And I have another space down here. My little baby was in here before. I had to move the crock pot lid. Okay, so here I have down here is like, you know, big and bulky electronics. I have my backstock of applesauces and some crackers down here. And here is my baking area. So I have like my bin of sugar. It's not perfect. It's not going to be, it's not like, you know, one of those luxurious looking pantries. Oh, thanks for the love, you guys. But it works for me for right now. I have my backstock of tea in the back and my really pretty tea organizer that I take out when I want some tea. And here are my handle baskets again. I have one for crackers, for baking, and down here for decorating items. And these items, just like skewers and straws, stand nicely on the side. I'm actually not a very big baker, so I don't go to these things very often. So when I do, it's like, yeah, maybe I'm picking up the crackers and moving it over when I need to get something. But when it's not so often, it's really not a big deal. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions. One more space. This is actually something that I did recently. I got a deal at the Container Store, and I put in this Alpha system on my, I have like this door. I keep like my toaster oven down here, my broom, my step stool, and I just needed a little extra space for snacks. I have, you know, the baby food, some other bars and stuff, and I just didn't have enough room. So this is, again, this is what works for us. It's called utilizing every inch, every amount of space. Sorry about that, guys. I just got an alarm. I'm not sure if you heard that. But I love it. I love it. When my husband put this together, I was just like completely and totally in love. And it's really, really pretty. It makes me happy every time I see it. So guys, that's it for now. that's what I have on pantry organizing. And I hope it's things that I share tips and suggestions with you that will make your life easier, that will make it easier for you and your spouse and your children and, just all around. So I hope to see you guys next week, 8 o'clock, for another episode of Organize and Socialize. Let me know if you have any ideas of what we should do next week. I'm actually thinking, just a thought, to maybe speak about the rest of the kitchen, because it's basically the same category, but I just wanted to make it more specific for now. So good night, guys. Thanks for joining. Love you all. Bye.